Hey guys, welcome to Talkflix, and today we're gonna talk about few movie-related news that dropped this week. And the first one I picked for you is something that, of course, most of you would have definitely heard of and seen. As you all know, the featurette for Antman and the Wasp dropped this week, in which Kevin Feige and few cast members of the Antman and the Wasp talk about the film. And pretty interesting one that most of the news sources are talking about, and I thought I'd talk too, was that Kevin Feige tells us that this has a lot of a big connection to the other Avengers films and other things. So he basically talks about Wasp finally coming up here to the Marvel universe so that they can, have the whole of the Avengers team from the first issue on the screen. So that's a pretty big achievement, actually, to have all these big characters from the issue 1 on the screen today. So it's a interesting thing. But again, the way you look at it is whether Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to have some really big things in for Avengers 4, which is dropping next year. There is no confirmed news except rumors and theories that are out there for this next film. Nothing very specific, but if we get a little bit of how these two characters are going to fit into this next Avengers film, where half the universe is gone. As most of the people know, they are definitely going to be there, but how are they going to fit into this film? Because they've joined the battle like one movie later, and I think it's going to be a simple, straightforward scene where they see everyone keep vanishing in the end, and they're gonna have a little clip where they go to Captain America or someone. It's the usual stuff that connects all these films, those credit scenes. But the question is it just gonna end there, or is it gonna have some even big things in store? Maybe something related to Thanos showing up or something like that. I don't know, maybe this is just something that popped into everyone's mind because Kevin Feige was more stressing on the point where these movies just are so connected to each other. So is Ant-Man and the Wasp really going to be this not just a standalone film, but whole big entire link that connects these pieces together? So yeah, again, this is a pretty good thing. I mean, again, we cannot really speak for anything. I mean, Marvel hasn't really announced anything for Comic-Con. Maybe some people are even telling that they won't even show up at Comic-Con. So God knows when they're gonna drop the big news. The big news will be when Ant-Man and the Wasp drops, and we're gonna get a taste of what's in there for store and what we may expect from these two characters in the next film. So yeah, until then, nothing much, but this is the first thing I picked for today. Definitely not just some regular news content, but again, something to discuss. So yeah. So the next news I picked for today, guys, is a pretty general news topic. It's not something special, but the reason I chose this news was the fact that Matt Damon and Kristen Bale are going to star in one film, which is a Untitled Ford versus Ferrari movie, which is a film based on the 2010 book from A.J. Bamey. This is a Fox film, and it's going to be releasing on June 28th of 2019. Now this is again directed by James Mangold. This is again one of the reasons why I was hyped for this movie. And James Mangold was a director on the Logan, and Logan was such a amazing film, considering the fact that it was the final film from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine that people got to see, and it was such a amazing way to end his character, and it was a phenomenal film. Now that is exactly why I like James Mangold. And now this film is a film about the team of American engineers and designers led by an automotive visionary, Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, and his British driver Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale, who are dispatched by Henry Ford II and Lee Iacocca with the mission of building from scratch an entirely new automobile with the potential to finally defeat the dominant Ferrari at the 1966 Le Mans World Championship in France. Now this article is being read from Variety. You guys can go check it out. Link will be in the description. Judging by the plot of this film, I feel like it's going to be like the of Rush, in which you have Chris Hemsworth. Again, you don't know because you have I don't know anything about Ford versus Ferrari and this whole thing. I haven't even read the book, but the only thing that got me excited for this film is the fact that you have both of these great actors starring alongside and this great director working on this film. It's a pretty general topic for today, nothing too exciting. So the third pick for today got me a lot excited, and I saved it for the last. Obviously, you guys know I lean towards the DC side. Entertainment Weekly basically dropped few images from Aquaman. They're all great, and I wanted to talk about it on this little video. And I mean, all the images look cool. I mean, these are the only images that we've got since a long time. Only, first looks that we've got since a long time. I mean, many of us really did expect that trailer to drop sometime last week, but it did not happen. But anyways, that was it is good to keep our anticipation rising towards that Comic-Con. And again, that image he tweeted with and announced the debut of the trailer in Comic-Con. That was a new logo from the Aquaman movie, and yeah, that was, I mean, he also tweeted that it was a logo stolen from the King Arms belt. So yeah, that's a pretty good logo right there. Then that's one whole new image from the Aquaman side. Now the first image that we're gonna talk about is this cool image in which we see Arthur Curry basically saving some kind of a submarine. That's what they call it. Again, this picture basically reminds me of the oil rig scene from Man of Steel. Basically, you saw the first ever rescue mission from the grown-up Superman, and you actually see him get along stronger, a lot stronger, and he's trying to save the world and stuff. This picture basically reminds me of that because he's not wearing any kind of armor that tells us that he's Aquaman. He's just saving few people, and he doesn't know anything. He just wants to save people. That's basically what I see in this picture. God knows what's really happening there, but again, it reminds me a lot of that scene. It's a cool image, and as usual, we all love Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Now the next picture is basically Jason Momoa and Amber Heard as their characters. Now we also see them in some kind of a treasure hunt or something, possibly searching for some clues or something. I mean, this is strictly something related to the movie. We do not know yet, but they're both on the surface world. Now, the contrast here would be, now Mira knows a lot about the underwater stuff and she doesn't know about the land. So Arthur Curry knows a lot about the land side of things. So basically, Mira might be good at the ocean, but when it comes to the land, Arthur Curry knows the things and how things are done. So it'll give us a good contrast between that and how she adjusts to the land and how he blends into the ocean side of things using each other. Basically they have a lot of history together, so that's a good thing to see. And then the next image is absolutely insane. Now this is the first picture that we ever got to see from the Black Manta. Now the Black Manta's helmet looks like as though it's stolen from the comics, and there's no problem with that. I'm a big fan of the Black Manta from comics. Now there are rumors that there are two suits in this film, one obviously being with this helmet and another one from the Throne of Atlantis version. So that's a pretty good suit right there. But again, this suit is not bad, this helmet is not bad. This is the first ever look we got of this helmet from the movie, and even though he's not wearing it, just seeing that helmet gets us all hyped. So yeah, that's one whole picture, and there's nothing a lot to talk about it. It's just that feeling when you look at it for the first time, you're like, poof, it's like. So this picture, again, this picture is also got me a lot excited. This picture for me, it's not just about Patrick Wilson as King Arm and obviously Arthur Curry just standing in the whole armor. It's also about this lighting in the background. It's really, when we got that first trailer description from the people who saw it, they were talking about this different kind of a city underneath and how it looked, basically all this vibrant lights and glowy lights being used. Now this is the first image that you can see those lighting things going on. I mean, you see those orange lines, I don't know what exactly they are, and then you see this blue light in the middle. So basically it's this lighting inside this ocean that it gives a different feel to this whole underwater world. Now we already have seen many films with different land and different kind of lifestyle. I mean, we've seen Black Panther having a different world called Wakanda, and we have whole developed cities in there, and we have obviously Wonder Woman from the Amazon, and things are a little different there. But both of those worlds are on land, and it's basically you can only do so much when it's just on land. But if you're talking about underwater, it's something else. So I really want to see how they're gonna deal with this underwater city. And obviously Patrick Wilson looks great as King Orm already, so let's see what he's got in store. So the next image we've got is obviously James Wan and obviously Amber Heard and Jason Momoa and William Dafoe as the nudist Volko of this movie. And obviously he looks great. He has a different suit, no armor or anything, and not that he needs an armor, but yeah, obviously we see all of them seriously, trying to figure out something. He's got a map there. Maybe this is just before they go to the land or something with that. But just seeing these pictures, as in the pictures where you see these directors having this frame hand, I feel so good in such a beautiful set. Obviously if you look at the background, it's such a beautiful set down there. It just looks like as though it's underwater. Obviously it's not, but it looks so much. I mean, even the lighting and stuff. Surprising how these set designs have improved so much lately. But yeah, pretty good image. Yes, there is more story to it, and we'll only get to see that in the movie. The last image obviously is, we have the first look at Queen Atlanta and Atlanta. She's holding baby Arthur Curry, and she's talking to his father, basically, maybe before going to the ocean, one last look at her son. And obviously this is a great story when you consider the drama that happened here in this storyline. Arthur Curry basically not growing up with his mother, he doesn't know what he is, an outcast, and then he learns about all these secrets, basically like Man of Steel, but much more drama. Just amazing family drama. Basically we have this great sunset scene, basically a cool lighthouse behind. I don't know, yeah, it's a great picture. Just the first look of Nicole Kidman as Queen Atlanta, great. And then we have two more covers for this magazine, or whatever you'd call it. Now the first cover is basically just Jason Momoa wet as possible, maybe out of the ocean just now, that kind of a feel. And then the next cover is basically all three main characters, which are Jason Momoa, of course, as Arthur Curry, and then we have Amber Heard as Mira and Nicole Kidman as Queen Atlanta. All three of them just in that cover. And basically if you'd ask me which is your favorite, then I'd go back to the first one, where you just see Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry. And I just love Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry. I think he has more in store. We didn't get to see this entirety of his character in Justice League. Hopefully we'll get more in this film. Obviously we'll do that. Yeah, I just prefer the first one over the second one for obvious reasons. Most of the people, they prefer the first one. The second one just looks overdone a little, but I don't have any problems with that cover, but I still prefer the first. So yeah, that's it for the images. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm really hyped for this trailer that's coming up next month, and I don't think there's a lot many days left for that, but still, even that little time, it's just that anticipation growing in you. It's just like great. So yeah, just before I leave, I also wanted to give a little recommendation for this week. Maybe if you guys haven't watched the Throne of Atlantis, Justice League Throne of Atlantis, a DC Comics animated film. Make sure you watch it. It has a lot of things like the Black Manta suit. You also get to know a little bit of Black Manta. You get to know a little bit of Ocean Master, and also, of course, Aquaman and his character before you go into this movie. And then I also want you guys, this is a brief follow-up from the last video on my channel, which was a review of Unsound, a film by Darius Britt. It deals with a character who's suffering from a mental illness and tells you a lot more about what stakes these people suffer from in their life in a way that you haven't probably seen in other movies. Of course, as I told you in the previous video, there was a documentary that was going to be released by him on this journey that he got involved in making this film, which was a 7-year journey. So basically it's a documentary, and it just makes the watching experience so much great. I suggest you guys go watch it. Links to all the three, my review, the film, and also the documentary, is linked down below, so make sure you check it out. Yeah, so tell me how you liked this video. If you didn't, give it a dislike. If you did, give it a like. And tell me how you guys want me to improve this channel and possibly add few things or whatever suggestions you have for this channel. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you again in the next one.